I'm Sarah, and I play a lot of Mercy. Today I'm going to talk about a lot of the decisions that I'm making while playing Mercy in an actual real game. I've seen a lot of Mercy guides where they say a lot of tips like, watch out for Widowmaker, or like, make sure you also buff people in addition to healing, but they don't really tell you a lot of information about, like, concretely in the moment when you should do what and why and how you should make that decision. And so by going through this game, it's a real game that I've played, I'm hoping that I can shed a little bit more light on sort of the rationale that I use when I'm playing Mercy, and how I think that Mercy can be most valuable to the team. So the first thing to keep in mind is that for Mercy to be effective, she needs to be a coward. She needs to stay away from the action. She needs to be as far away as she can while still like beaming the teammates, helping her teammates with heals or buffs. So many times throughout this game, you'll see that I spend a lot of time hiding back, not really seeing where exactly the action is, not seeing what the status of like all the enemies are, because I want to stay back away and keep myself safe, because that's the best way to be of benefit to my team. And so this is the biggest thing that I think it's hard for new Mercy players to really get their mind around. Next thing, you can see right here I'm buffing Bastion. The reason I'm buffing and not healing is, well, there's sort of a couple of reasons. First thing is, usually I want to buff the first, or the most impactful teammate, the person who can have the most effect on the current events. So right up there, I could have also healed the Reinhardt. I see a lot of Mercies start at the game healing their Reinhardt. That doesn't really do a lot of good. Reinhardt doesn't really need healing. I mean, unless he's ill. And I also could have buffed the Torb, but the buff is a percentage buff. It's a 30% percentage buff, and so by buffing Bastion, I'm basically adding the most DPS to the game that I can. So whether it's a Bastion behind a Reinhardt or someone else, that's how I sort of make that call. So right down there, you saw that I went down to heal Symmetra. The thing that I'm constantly doing when I play Mercy is looking through the walls, looking at my teammates, and saying, who's yellow, who's red, who needs my help? If someone needs my help, assuming it's not like stupidly suicidal to do so, I consider my first priority to go and heal that person. So, like, I look through the wall, so, like, right there, I saw that D.Va. D.Va's obviously on the point. I want to do something about her, but in this game, I wasn't in the team chat, and I knew my teammates would hear it, so rather than try to fight that battle myself, I came back here so that I could support them and keep myself alive while they fight it. And then here, while Bastion's on the point, I'm still staying way far away. I'm staying as far back out of the line of fire as I possibly can. And then, like a good team, they all come back to their positions now that the threat has been dealt with. So there I look behind me. It's a good idea when you're playing Mercy. Stay out of the action, look behind you, look at the places that people can get to you, and make sure there's no one there if you don't have anything else to do. And then back to buffing, because everybody seems healed. If someone were ill, I would not be buffing right now. I'd be going to that person and healing them. So let's see, where are we? So here you're going to see that in a minute there's going to be some action. And right down here I can see Reinhardt went into the back room, and that there's obviously something going on in there. He's yellow, so I go in there to support them in that battle because that's where I'm most needed. But I stay far back, and now as soon as there's danger, I'm like, let me get away from the danger. And I run and hide while still trying to heal everybody. So get everybody topped back off again, and then resume my position and wait for something to happen. I can see that Bastion over there is yellow, so I'm going to try to go get to him, but then he obviously just hit the healing. Now he's green again. So notice that I was healing the whole time that was going on, but I didn't have to look at the person I was healing. I was looking for the next person to make sure, like, see where I could be of most value. Obviously here I need to keep everybody healthy. Now you see out in the distance that Farah just fell. Let's go back a second, take another look at that. So Farah's going to pop up there right above the main gate. See, she's going to pop up right on the right. Here she comes. The distance, there she goes, and she jumps right out there in the front, and she gets killed, and she dies. And so the reason I didn't go out there to see her, or to get her, isn't because I didn't see her, but because I knew she was in a place that I was almost certainly going to get killed if I went out there. So she's off the reservation. Now right here you may have seen there was another Farah, an enemy Farah right outside the gate who just jumped up, and as soon as I saw her appear, like there's obviously a bunch of fire coming in, I want to try to hide. I want to get down behind the wall, behind the columns, while still coming up here to heal everybody and keep them topped off if I can. So again, here comes the diva. I jump behind this column to hide, but stay as close to the action as I can that's safe, so I can keep coming up here and healing people. So Bastion's doing okay heal-wise, but I know he's in the line of fire, so I chose to heal him there instead of buffing. I also can see that diva there. So here you'll notice I took out my gun. Let me pause this a second. So how I decide when to use Mercy's gun is one of the big indicators is when I can be like the third man in a fight. If one of my friendlies is fighting with an enemy and I can affect their odds of surviving that fight by being the third man and being far away and shooting, that's actually really effective because if you're fighting with someone, you don't usually notice like some little shots from far away. And so I can often really add to those fights without really opening a lot of risk to myself. If I were 10 feet away, if I were really close to that two-person fight, I would definitely not take out my gun and fight right there. Maybe I would back up and get a little bit further away, but I want to keep myself safe and keep Mercy alive, and then be that third man. Now, sometimes maybe someone else is ill nearby, someone else is yellow or turning red or getting hit, and so then I have to make the call, like, which one of these is likeliest to result in the most live teammates at the end. Sometimes it's healing, sometimes it's not, but if somebody's getting damaged and it looks like they're probably going to still win the fight, then I still might get my Mercy gun out and be the third man in a different fight that's going on to try to save that guy, and then like I can heal them all at the end anyway if I survive. So don't be a hero, don't jump into the middle of the battle, like stay back and be the like invisible third man in that gunfight. So let's keep going here. So now I immediately go back to healing and hide behind the column. I don't even know who's coming down there, but I know that people are fighting and I don't want to get killed. So here I have this teammate down. I'm going to res him. I could have tried to wait and wait for some more people to get resed, but we actually looked like we had the situation under control. It didn't look like we were going to need that many, or need another res in the next short amount of time. Here I went around to that Torb because he was yellow, but I'm still running like heck to get away from that diva, and then I come back in here to heal Bastion. So I really don't even need to know what's happening, I just need to know who needs help. And so right there again, I fought that Mei because I was behind her, she was unlikely to come after me, and even if she did, I could probably have run away. So I felt like it was safe to shoot her, and the rest of my teammates were green. Obviously Bastion is, well, actually he was yellow there, but not actually too injured. So let's see. So what else is happening here? Obviously Diva's in the point there. I can be safe back here in the dark, and she's probably not going to notice me. Same is true for Mei when I'm that far away. So I want to try to keep everybody alive. Oh, and right here, you can't hear from the sound, but there was a Junkrat tire. And so one of the things, or there's about to be a Junkrat tire, one of the things that happens, see right there, I turned off my beam. When you hear a Junkrat tire, go and hide so you can res everybody afterwards, and turn off your beam. Don't keep healing someone, except in rare circumstances. The beam is like a big flashing light that's like, hey, Junkrat, come over here, here's the Mercy. And so, like, if you can avoid having your beam go on while when a Junkrat tire is rolling around, like, that is the best time to not heal anybody and just wait and let them die, especially if you have a res available, that so you can just like hide out and then run back into the center, and maybe you get killed then, but hopefully you get your res off before that happens. So now I'm going to start this match over while I say just a couple more things. The first thing is, it's really important to understand how Mercy's beam works. I found it very confusing when I first started playing Mercy because like sometimes it seems like it went through walls, and other times it seems like it doesn't go through walls, and I couldn't really tell. And so here's how it works. Mercy's beam has a range, and that range is 15 meters. So if your friendly is within 15 meters, you can lock it onto them. If they go outside that range, if they go to 16 meters, then they have 3 seconds to come back into range. And if they do within 3 seconds, or for you to close that range, if they do come back within range within that time, then the beam will continue and it won't get broken. But if after 3 seconds you guys are still more than 15 meters apart, then the beam will break and go off, and you'll have to get much closer, back within 15 meters, to be able to connect to them again. And the same thing is true for having your beam broken by like a wall or the payload or something like that. So if the wall is in your beam for 3 seconds, then at the end of 3 seconds, unless you have moved the wall out of the way, then the beam is going to break. So it's good to understand that because I feel like it's sort of hard to empirically test it and reach a conclusion yourself because that 3 second rule gives you so much like squishiness. Um, so I guess that's all. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to restart this game with the original sound, all of the in-game sounds. You'll also get some of my dialogue talking with a friend of mine about how to play Mercy. But if you actually want to watch this game from start to finish and get a clearer idea of how it was going, since I know it's kind of hard while I'm talking over it right now. So I'll do that, but thank you for watching, and if you have stuff you like about this video, I would love it if you would tell me in the comments. If you have stuff you don't like, I would like that too, but to a lesser extent. But I would like to hear critical feedback you guys have, and also if you have a name to suggest for this series of videos for characters that I play well, and like wanting to see sort of concrete examples of gameplay with a discussion of the decisions that were made in the moment. I would love to have a better name for this series of videos. So leave it in the comments if you have any ideas, and maybe I'll use that one. So I guess that's all, and thanks for watching. I can't get you there?
It's damn near impossible.
Huh.
I think the only person that would really have a good chance of taking me out would be like a Junkrat or something. But he would have to be so exposed that, you know, I would be able to kill him easily.
Yeah. Huh, that's amazing.
Because basically the pillar divides the platform because it goes through it. So even if you were going to take fire, they would have to use so much coordination just to take you out that it's almost not worth it.
I see. Yeah, I think
Pharaoh would be good to take it out, but, you know, other than that.
I think I've stood there as Farah, but also this looks like this is like not going to be hard decision making for Mercying. So like here I try to stand as much out of the action as I can, although I fell off.
Ready to do some damage. I could use some assistance.
Yeah, they don't know that D.Va's over there on the point.
Teleporter online. Navigating to damage amplified. You're ready to do some damage.
So ideally there I would have waited a little bit longer to ult, but I thought I might die, so I went ahead and ulted anyway.
Okay.
Heilstrahl aktiviert. Damage boost engaged.
Did you just not see the Pharah up there, or did you say "fuck you"? You're way too out.
Yeah,
there?
she's too hard. If I tried to heal her, I would have died.
Okay.
Cause like they were shooting at her, I couldn't get anywhere. If I had gotten close enough to her, I would have just been in range too.
Gotcha.
Like I noted her, and if she had come back a little bit, I would have been able to. I would have tried to heal her. But she was off the reservation.
This is such a different mindset from playing Reinhardt for me.
Heroes never die. I'm here. You have my thanks.
60 seconds.
This group is staying incredibly close together too.
So that Reinhardt, I was on the fence as to whether to go over to him because it might have been safe, but if he died, then I would be screwed. And so then I'd shoot. But I mean, it ended up being okay. But I could have gone over to him a little bit sooner.
Damage increase.
Nice job.
And so I'm checking to the left to make sure no one's coming after me that I have to run away from.
Damn.
You made that.
Nice ult.